Do you think sports are rigged? Can they be rigged? Is there influence?
Look at the 2002 Western Conference Finals.
Is that the Sacramento
and L.A.
They show that one.
Bunch of ticky-tack fouls being called. Scott Pollard wasn't even near Shaq, and they call a foul on him. And the thing is, the Kings should have won that series and the championship that year.
No, they really should have. But you think Game 7 was still in favor of the Lakers?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course it was.
More money.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, also they had won 2 championships at that point. Already had 2 rings, so 2000, 2001. So the thing is, the Lakers were that team that was, plus you're in a big market, L.A., and you're going up against, New Jersey. I mean, a New York area team.
Which is still it's still a big market.
Yeah, wasn't the Knicks, but hey, it's still a New York area team.
There was something with that New Jersey Nets arena and color that I didn't like.
Well, they played in the Meadowlands Arena.
I don't know. I just feel it goes to show you how a color scheme can change everything.
Yeah, I mean the uniforms at the time,
were
kind of
dark.
With that dark blue.
Navy's a hard color, especially when you're playing in bright lights. That's why Jay-Z was just like, let's make it black and white. Maybe he had an influence there.
Yeah,
man. But it looks like KD and Kyrie are kind of stuck together for the most part.
Yeah, and the thing is, look.
Suck it up, in my opinion.
Yeah, suck it up. Play like men. Be like men and play. They're paying you a lot of money.
You too, Ben Simmons.
And don't even get me started on him. Work on your jump shot.
How do these players... I hate talking about people's contracts and money. I hate that, but I have to right now. How are these players getting these max contracts when they're not max players?
It's a team that's kind of desperate.
They're ruining the market.
Well, and also, I remember when Nicholas Batum got 5 years and $120 million. I'm like, huh?
That doesn't make much sense to me.
It doesn't. And I remember, you can even go back to 1997. Jim McIlvaine.
Who's that?
He was like a little bit player on the Seattle Supersonics. He had played with the Washington Bullets.
Black guy?
White guy. Like a little crew cut and everything. And that was one of the reasons that Shawn Kemp, found his way out of Seattle, because he was pissed off that they gave Jim McIlvaine, who averaged 2 points and 2 blocks a game, got a 5-year, $35 million contract. Now, this is 1997, so at the time, that's a
lot of cheese,
yeah,
even right now.
Yeah. So Shawn Kemp, and they told Kemp that I guess they couldn't give him, it was something with his contract negotiations. And he was like, huh? He's like, you're going to give this guy, who's not the player that I am, all this money, but you're going to hesitate on me?
And I think the hesitation would be fair, but I don't think you should have gave the money to the other dude, too. Shawn Kemp was a little bit of a wild card at times.
Well, but he had rounded into form.
Did he have a jump shot?
He actually had a little bit of a jump shot.
Okay.
He wasn't just a dunker. He had developed his jump shot, I want to say, in 95.
How was his defense?
Defense wasn't too bad, but offense, of course, he and Gary Payton, were just trouble together. That's why I hated that fucking team.
Do you think Gary Payton had the team around him he needed?
I think he did, but he ran into Michael Jordan.
The Rockets could not beat them.
That's why I just said I hated them.
Yeah.
I mean, every time that we played them in the regular season, they'd whoop us. Not until we got Barkley did we really start beating them.
That's ironic. How?
Yeah.
What was Barkley's influence? It was just the matchup type thing?
Yeah. Well, we had matchup problems with them because when we got swept in 96, it was, they had a team. They had Sam Perkins, Shawn Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, Gary Payton, Vincent Askew, Nate McMillan. They had a bench. They had a squad, man. They had a bench and a starting 5. We had matchup problems because there's no way that Kenny Smith is going to be a defensive problem for Gary Payton. Kenny Smith didn't really play defense.
Did we have Robert Horry that season?
Yeah, we had Robert. That was his last season.
Was that before we had Barkley?
Yeah, 95, 96. The 96 playoffs were where we got swept. We beat the Lakers, and then we got swept by Seattle. And I knew when we played them, oh, boy, they were going to give us trouble. and they did.
Was that our new uniforms?
Yeah, that was the first season
that's
for those.
why,
Yeah,
man.
that was the first season of those ugly ass uniforms.
Which I still don't understand.
No, I don't either. I remember I went to the unveiling. My mom actually got us tickets for the unveiling. Clyde Drexler and his son were wearing they went on this little runway, and they unveiled the uniforms. I remember Calvin Murphy even saying that when I went to one of his basketball camps, he said, "Yeah, they're going to change the logo and the color scheme." And so,
was he excited?
I don't think, indifferent to it, because he was basically like,
I don't like that.
They had to, because we were the lowest selling merchandise in the league. Timberwolves and Clippers beat us. They were sorry ass teams.
I don't think that had anything to do with our logo, though.
But the thing is, you have to do something to drum up sales. The thing is, Les Alexander was not going to allow that.
I think if they stuck to that logo and maybe...
I like it. I like the old logo.
Brought in a black jersey.
Yep. Like the alternate road uniforms.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's what the Bulls had. Bulls had that one in
Bulls
95
had
too.
the sexiest black jerseys, man.
Yeah. The road uniforms.
Ooh,
alternative,
the red popped on that jersey.
And the red pinstripes, yeah.
This year, the Rockets are bringing back the San Diego Rockets jersey, which is the Seattle Supersonics colorway. Dude, I want to see a green version of that, or even a yellow.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't. Well, why was it green though? San Diego Rockets.
I don't know, man.
The color scheme.
Well, that was a color scheme for San Diego,
right? Yeah.
When they moved the team here,
Yeah. So, Les Alexander, Drake McClain, were they known as cheap owners? Drake McClain was the Astros.
Les Alexander, not so much. But Drayton McClain, oh boy.
Dude, tell me some stories here.
Okay. I remember there was one, I think it was 1997. Darryl Kyle. He was our best pitcher.
For the Astros.
Yeah. Our best pitcher. And there were rumors circulating around that, we were going to offer him a 3-year, $21 million contract. Well, he ends up signing with Colorado. And he didn't do too well with them. And it was like, yeah, we offered him the 3-year, $21 million contract, but he just didn't want to take it. Well, Bagwell gets on, they interview Bagwell, and he was like, they did not offer him a 3-year, $21 million contract.
Damn,
because they had the same agent.
That's straight.
And so Bagwell was like, no, they didn't offer him that. I don't know what it was they offered him, but, Drayton McClain just let a lot of great players go. Like I think we could have kept Randy Johnson.
No way.
When Randy Johnson, he got a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Diamondbacks. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, that's not a whole lot of money, for a player of his caliber. And then we traded Ken Caminiti, Steve Finley. I mean, it was like,
do you think it's always a money thing, or do you think it's an ego? Maybe they got in an argument. Maybe he wants to prove he doesn't have to pay this guy.
Probably, but a lot of times it is a money.
White owners back in the day, ew.
Yeah, but it's like it is a money thing when it really boils down to it. Okay, I can't pay this guy, can't pay that guy. Let's find some takers for him, get something for him.
But let's look at the Astros this past year, for instance. We probably had the money to get Correa, sign him back, but
the thing with that was that they waited too late, because Francisco Lindor of the Mets, when he signed that $341 mega deal, then Carlos Correa was like, well, I want that.
Okay, these players, do you think he deserved that contract? Like
Lindor?
I'm not saying.
Well, Lindor is a better player than
but
Carlos
that's Correa. A lot of money, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, in a market like California, New York, they can afford to pay that. But you come here, to say Seattle or, with the Astros, you can't always, give a contract like that. That hamstrings your team. And the thing is, the reason why Jim Crane is smart enough to realize that, because look at what happened with Albert Pujols. Now, Albert Pujols is getting closer and closer to 700 home